Many times flashover is predictable, and using a tick can help you determine when that time is. Remember, a tick is showing you heat, not flame or smoke. The use of the temperature scale will help you determine what you're actually looking at, because everything is relative to how hot it is and the surfaces around it. Using a tick in a controlled environment such as a flashover trailer will allow you to give good visual representation of what you're seeing with the tick versus what you're actually seeing with your eyes. In the next couple seconds of video, you see superheated atmosphere that begins to start to ignite, and you're seeing actually small pockets of flame beginning to light the superheated gases. At this point in the video, we've created a vent-controlled fire. There's plenty of heat in the upper atmosphere. The seat of the fire is still plenty hot enough to produce fuel, but there's no oxygen. As we continue to let this go, all we're doing is heating the atmosphere, waiting for us to open the front door. Continue watching the next few seconds of clip as we allow the upper atmosphere to continually heat up to a point where when we open the door, we'll get our pre-flashover, rollover, and flashover conditions. At this point in the video, you'll see the instructor point at small pockets of fuel that are starting to ignite as the temperature continues to rise and the upper atmosphere gets closer to its ignition temperature. At this point in the video, the doors open slightly and you'll start to see the superheated gases begin to ignite. However, as the doors open more, the cool air rushing into the room creates quite a bit of turbulence, disturbing the upper atmosphere. This will be the equivalent to us opening the door and starting down the hallway. As that cool air rushes in, it creates too much turbulence to sustain combustion, but it's allowing oxygen into the room, which is eventually going to allow the superheated gases to ignite. It's important to note in the next couple seconds of video that without a tick, you would not be able to see this. Use of a tick as you're approaching a fire room is critical. These next couple seconds of video play out, and you can see the flashover happens very quickly. This is in the overhead, which you may not be able to see without a tick. At this point, flashover has occurred, water is being applied, and you can see the room has reached 1200 degrees. As we continue through the training video, we'll continue to repeat this process. We'll allow the fire to build, we'll vent control the fire, allow oxygen into the room, which will start our pre-rollover, rollover, pre-flashover, flashover, and you'll see it happen several times throughout the training video. I ask you to pay attention to the smoke as you watch the video. Smoke that's pulling back in towards the fire at a rapid rate is us allowing the door open, which is pulling in the cool air. Once the door is shut, you'll see the upper environment become kind of lazy. And then at that point, you'll see the heat build, us open the door, and you'll recreate the same thing you had the first time, which is similar to what you have in a real incident, where a fire builds, becomes stale, and it's waiting for that oxygen, which we're allowing it as we come down the hallway. In these next few seconds of video, you'll actually see the instructor reach out and touch a pocket of gas that is ignited and has a small finger of flame. This is that indication that flashover is coming, and you can see that flashover happens very quickly after that, going from 600 to 1200 degrees. Flashover is predictable. You just got to see the warning signs to know where it's coming. Without a tick, these warning signs of flashover are difficult to see. However, not impossible. You have got to pay attention to the upper atmosphere. If you're crawling under smoke that is starting to ignite, flashover is coming. Again, it's predictable. You just got to pay attention to your surrounding. As we watch the last flashover, keep a couple things in mind. You've got to pay attention to the overhead. Situational awareness, heard it 100 times, is key. Use the tick. Look overhead every now and then just to see what's going on above you. Also, pay attention to how quickly the environment changes with just a little bit of water. We've heard it before, resetting the clock. A little bit of water into the upper atmosphere will stop the flashover from continuing. Hope you enjoyed this short training video on using a tick and identifying flashover. Now sit back and enjoy this last flashover.